Mary had a little lamb.
The fourth, we believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon.
I have a dream.
Change has come to America.
Believe me.
Help is on the way.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show. Turn up your mind.
Overnight, Donald Trump kicking off the final week of the 2024 campaign with a rally that was dark and inflammatory from the start, insisting his possible re-election would be, quote, Liberation Day from undocumented migrants.
November 5th, 2024, 9 days from now, will be Liberation Day in America. It's going to be Liberation Day. On day one, I will launch the largest deportation program in American history.
The former president painting America as a nation in decline, once again labeling Democrats the enemy from within.
It's just this amorphous group of people, but they're smart and they're vicious, and we have to defeat them. And when I say the enemy from within, the other side goes crazy, becomes a sound. Oh, how can he say? No, they've done very bad things to this country. They are indeed the enemy from within.
The rally was incendiary and vulgar before Trump even stepped on the stage. Several speakers making sexist, profane, and racist comments. One calling Vice President Kamala Harris the devil and the Antichrist. Comedian Tony Hinchcliffe comparing Puerto Rico, a U.S. territory, to a floating island of garbage.
I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico. Okay, all right, okay, we're getting there.
And Democrats seizing on this split screen. As that Trump rally got underway, Harris was visiting a Puerto Rican restaurant, posting this message to social media.
Puerto Ricans deserve better. As president, I will always fight for you and your families.
Several influential Puerto Rican superstars, including Bad Bunny, Jennifer Lopez, and Ricky Martin, resharing that video in support of Harris to their millions of followers. Harris later writing, "Today I reached my plan to help build a brighter future for Puerto Rico." Meanwhile, at Donald Trump's rally, they're calling Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage.
Former First Lady Melania Trump also speaking at that rally last night, where Donald Trump vowed to give Robert F. Kennedy Jr., someone who has pushed conspiracy theories about vaccines, broad power over food and medicine. And as this campaign enters its final days, ABC News has now learned of a proposal from some of Trump's top aides that would allow him to bypass the traditional FBI background check to grant security clearances to a large number of political appointees. Guys, as for that comedian, he did not apologize for any of those comments. This is not the first time that he has made racist comments or so-called jokes like that before, so it really does beg the question why the Trump campaign would even invite someone with this history in the first place as they're trying to make inroads with that key demographic.
I just really, what a weekend. What a freaking weekend, okay? And, it was just the disastrous weekend of, 2024. Really, it was an amazing, no matter what you were into, okay? Whether you're following politics, whether you're into sports, whether you're into baseball, whether you're into the NFL, it just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. It was just horrendous. It was so freaking jarring. It was so jolting. It was so upsetting. It was so, I mean, you know how we left on Friday. The last caller was, Brother David, who was trying to tell us on his crappy phone about the LA Times not endorsing anyone, and that the editorial page editor, Ms. Garza, had resigned in protest because the Los Angeles Times, in one of the most significant elections that America has ever had, because, we're pinning our hopes on continuing to be some sort of a democracy on one Kamala Harris, and she's from California. And the Los Angeles Times, Los Angeles, California, refuses to endorse a candidate in, I think it was 11 days to go. In the 11th day before an election, I just, wow, that was, and then the New York Times, the Washington Post, okay, Jeff Bezos, the oligarch in waiting, the, wannabe press guy, they're all divvying it up. They're divvying up America is what the oligarchs are doing. You understand that? So he, in his Washington Post, where he changed the slogan when he purchased it with his, $200 billion fortune, he just, took his pocket change there, the stuff that he leaves in the couch, and bought the Washington Post with that, and changed the slogan to "Democracy dies in darkness," and then went dark on the endorsement of a candidate 10 days before the election. 10 days. It's an amazing phenom because it's actually addressed. It's addressed in Timothy Snyder's, books about democracy and fascism and creeping fascism and how it creeps and what it does and what it looks like and how. And one of the things that Timothy Snyder describes is called anticipatory obedience. Anticipatory obedience, where people just, lick the boots of the newly incoming or somebody who could be the newly incoming dictator. And they don't want to get on the wrong side of him because he's going to divvy up all of the industries. And he's going to say who does oil and gas. And he's going to say who does media. And he's going to say who does space, right? So Bezos, this is incredible. This story is like so worthwhile to know, especially if you haven't voted yet, because if you can't get in there and smash it for Kamala Harris after you know this, okay, that they are literally divvying up the United States of America into industrial sectors, if you will, right? Who gets to make cars? Who doesn't? Who gets to, own steel? Who doesn't? Who gets to, run space? Space. The final frontier and all that good stuff, right? So when Donald Trump went to Austin, we thought that it was to sit down with Joe Rogan, who said he would never help Donald Trump, ever, because Donald Trump was bad for democracy. And now here he is bending over backwards, okay? Because, he wants to be left alone too. This is all anticipatory obedience. He wants that when Donald Trump thinks of him as the special place, as the guy in the podcast arena, the one to, not be disturbed or mutilated or messed with or spindled or folded or anything, right? He should just go unscathed and continue on and live in his 11,000 square foot mansion in Austin, Texas, undeterred. So he knows this, and he, negotiates an appearance with, Trump. And I don't know, he sat there and let Donald Trump lie about stolen elections. He giggled like a schoolgirl, Joe Rogan did, but no pushback, no, show me the evidence. No, no, he just smoked, I guess, a sativa, put him in a good mood. I think the indica would have forced some very, prickly questions to which he would not have gotten answers. But I guess he knows, what hybrid he wants. I guess he understands.
I felt so naive. I was hoping that interview would be maybe a little contentious because Joe would want to make waves and make news and headline. No, it was so friendly.
Because this is what's going on now. This is, bending the knee. This is the portion of the, the last gasps of democratic breath, right, has gone out of them. And now they're into oligarchy, if that's next. So anyway, he ended up talking to him about UFOs and, real bro stuff. And Joe really wanted to know from Donald Trump, whether or not the government knows anything about life on Mars, or whether the government knows anything about alternate universes, or, knows anything about life on in the moon. I don't know. And Donald Trump couldn't even play. He couldn't even, engage because he's never asked anybody in the government about these things because he doesn't care. So that was kind of a worth. Anyway, he held him there for 3 hours, okay? 3 hours trying to get something. Got nothing. Absolutely nothing. Nothing worthwhile, nothing repeatable, nothing memorable, nothing at all. But Donald Trump left people in Traverse, Michigan, out in the freezing cold who were waiting for him at a rally that was supposed to start at 7:30 at night. At 7:30 at night, Donald Trump hadn't even boarded his private aircraft. And it was a 2-3 hour flight there. And then a drive to where... And some people left, like the ones with brains in their heads still, that it hadn't turned into scrambled eggs in there. But he was 3 hours late. Don't have time to listen to the live show? Want to hear more on your schedule? Go to RandiRhodes.com and buy a stinking podcast.